Well, hello everyone. Good to have you here. And I'm a little bit in the dark here today, but my name's Todd Rains. Welcome to All Things Woodturning, and I'm having a bit of fun in the shop here today. So hope you enjoy it. We're gonna kind of dive right in a little bit and forego some of the information for now. I've got to change a few things around. So join me if you want along this little sort of October 7th journey. So a few weeks before Halloween, and we'll see what we're gonna turn today. So let me just switch here, and we'll look at boo. It's our little ghosty friend we're going to be turning today. So one of those guys. So it should be fun. So glad you could all make it. So let me turn some lights on and see what this is. We'll get another shot of this guy here. There's another good shot of him as well. So that's what we're going to look at today. It's just a fun little thing, silly thing. Let me turn on some lights, and we'll get some of the stuff out of the way that I had set up for that shot, and we'll get going. So yeah, what a silly little thing this guy is, but he's kind of fun. And if we take a look, he's pretty small, just a little turning, a little black hollow form, and some paint. So we'll be looking at that today, and a small hollowing turning called Boo. So let's let me get this off of here, and a few other things rearranged. That off. There we go. We're back. So yeah, this little guy is as just a quick turning I did yesterday to kind of proof of concept. We'll try and recreate another one today, but it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's simple and silly, but looking forward to it. So we got a few people in the house. Thank you for joining, Larry. Good to have you here. Lowell, always good to have you here. Thank you. Good to see you too. Chris, good to have you here. Thank you. And Cindy, yeah, the ghost is cool. Yeah, little ghost guy. So a little bit of turning, a little bit of carving, a little bit of painting. So it's a little bit of everything. We're going to do the whole thing here today, hopefully. Doesn't take too long. So let's set Boo aside and take a look at what we got set up here. Overhead. I didn't turn that on again. I keep forgetting to turn that guy on. Let me just get him set. Don't need to go too far with it today. So, and we'll go overhead. We got a little chunk of wood on the lathe here, and get myself off there for a second. I'll go down the corner. What was that? Hang on. Oh, it's just my arm. I'm freaking out. I thought maybe my lights were off. So, but yeah, let me just take this out. I'll show you what I've prepped and stuff. So this is a little block of wood. I think this is spruce. Could be some sort of pine, but it's very soft wood. It's about 4 inches long and about 2 inches in diameter. I've prepped a little tenon on one end and cleaned off the other end. I'm actually sticking it right into the internals of the O'Donnell jaws, just to give it a bit more support as I hollow, and I can hollow through almost like hollow jaws down there. So let me just mark that. We are going. Oh, did I lose my pencil? I know I left it somewhere. I will have to look for that later. I've got a marker. We'll start with that. So I plan to kind of hollow up to about here, and then we'll part off about there. So as I bury it deep, as I get to the end of the hollowing, I'll bring it out and put it in the jaws with that little dovetail. So I do like this idea of being able to kind of grip a little bit more solidly on these things. The first time I did this was yesterday. I thought, oh, that's a cool idea. So we'll get the rest up here, and let me let's see. We got a few other people. Oh, Colin, thanks for joining. Good afternoon. And Philip, thanks for joining this evening over in the UK. Nick, good to have you here again and stuff. So, oh, he's saying hi to Philip. Good evening. And James from down south of San Antonio way. Good to have you here. So yeah, a lot of my Texas friend. I think Colin, you're out in San Angelo. I'm not quite sure. Somewhere out there, West Texas. I'm looking for a tool, a couple of tools. So yesterday's guy, and we'll bring him over here, keep him up here for inspiration. Yesterday's ghost, I hollowed with my half-round bar and stuff with the teardrop cutter. A simple a round nose scraper will do the trick. Whatever, you could use a spindle gouge. Whatever you want to do to hollow this guy out is perfectly acceptable. So let me get my camera back to where I want to get a good shot of the action, and that's pretty close. Tighten that up there. This is what I just set up. So we'll go in, and I got to get a handle for this guy. So let me grab a handle. There it is. There is a little bit to do today, but I've got most everything set up. Really, a lot of this setup is from my pumpkin box demo that I did a couple of weeks ago. I haven't really cleaned up a whole lot from that IRD. So let's call in Tennessee. Oh, I thought you were in West Texas. Maybe you moved since Trinity River. So my bad. Good stuff. Good to have representation from over there. So we've got, that's a little dark. I'm just going to expose that a bit more. There we go. Half round bar set up with the teardrop cutter that way. Need to grab my eyeglasses, safety glasses. Power off, power all the way on. It's not truly centered, but I don't mind. I've got my tool rest back a bit so I can get my teardrop cleared, and just the tool rest height set so that I can core this guy out. I'm going to leave a wall thickness that's thick enough to this little guy is going to move over there. He's a little bit in my way. Wall thickness so that I can carve a little bit, and the carving is dead simple. It's nothing difficult. Having a soft wood is nice. That's why I kind of like this spruce or pine or whatever it is. It's not 2x4 material. I know that because it has a bit more integrity than that stuff. But here's a sample of it. So it is pretty tear out prone. I don't know if it'll go Autofocus? I think I have it on manual focus. Let's see if I can fix that. Maybe too close for focusing. But anyway, actually overhead will work. Yeah, a little bit of tear out, but it's old stuff that I've got from some turner years ago, a couple of years ago. He was moving into a retirement home, so he needed the space. So just getting that point under the middle. You really could do this with a drill bit. No reason why not to drill it out. Colin says, 2 years ago he moved to Tennessee. So, yeah, well, good. At least I'm not losing my mind. So that's always reassuring. So, and I've got the point of this guy just off to the left, so I can kind of get down there and scrape up the side. So the kind of shape I'm kind of going for is pretty cylindrical at this moment, and we'll get down and I may flare it out a bit. We're going to kind of put a little bit of shape, not a whole lot of shape to this guy. And this Julie's hollowing is just practice and also just a way to kind of lessen the weight, I guess. I'll have to clean that out a little bit. Oh, we got a nice middle mountain in there going. So we're pretty even in wall thickness. Gets a little thicker down there, so we'll. But that thickness is good for me. That's 3/8, maybe a little thinner. But we'll wait till I kind of get this middle mountain taken care of. There it is, bouncing around in there. This is all about feel down here. There it's drilling. Got another 1/4 inch drilled. Get a lot of sawdust built up in there, and it does grab it a little bit, so make sure you kind of clean it out and stuff. Certainly a Lyle Jamieson system would be easy, but I didn't want to get that all set up. It kind of interferes with the cameras a little bit, and I want to give options. So let's just see how this little tool does. It's just a short-handled regular crown tool, and we can move the tool rest quite a bit closer now with that guy, and he's going to reach not a whole lot further. So I think my depth is pretty good. Let's just take a quick look at that. And we are that far into the turning. So that's about as deep as I want to go. But I'll just clean up that middle and do a little cut up the sidewall with this guy. See how well it goes. A little bit higher for this is not a negative rake, it's a single bevel. And just finding my way down the hole here. It's not a lot of a handle. At this I found, you can see the tool kind of wrapping around that middle mountain. Just get in the middle of it and lift up and down gently. There we go, right there. And we'll call that done with that tool. I should have started with that tool sooner, but yeah, got that middle mountain out. I'm going to thin this down a little bit actually here, and I'll just go back to my preferred tool, my teardrop cutter. So I just want to flare this a bit, a little less carving. Probably 1/4 inch would be plenty there. And just do some gentle scrapes all the way in to try and get rid of any sort of roughness. Get as smooth a shape as possible. And that feels pretty darn good. All right, it gives us room for some shaping. The widest part's going to be at the foot here, and then we'll skinny down, and then we'll create a head. So let's do that now. Let's pull it out of the deep set of the jaws. Let me take a look at the, there's a good question there. So James says, surprised you're not using the hook tool. Yeah, it's a great point, James. Certainly could. But getting this deep with the hook tool, it's mostly scraping anyway. So there you can see the inside done. So yeah, absolutely could use a hook tool. But my little bench brush, clean out these jaws. So I got nothing interfering with the seat of it. And let's see, do I have wide shot? No, don't have that set up. Where's that? There it is. That's really dark. Sorry, camera setting. And I don't even know if that's not going to be focused. So let me just quickly focus that. There we go. Sorry, the zoom in is just a feature of the camera, which I should turn off. I just forgot to. There, it pops back out. Oh, going the wrong way. So we'll get this loaded in. Oh, I didn't test these. Oh no, I am just barely enough of a. That's not even enough. I'm gonna have to grip on to the outside. I made my tenon just a bit too short, a bit too shallow, so we can grip on there. So I've seated the tenon inside, and then actually using the jaws around the tenon, or not really the jaws, but the actual body of the jaws is gripping on. It's not the best hold, but for this small amount of turning we're going to do it here, it's going to be just fine. And we got our parting off point right close, so we're not going to do a whole lot of shaping here. And we'll use parting tool. And where's my small gouge? There's a small gouge there, so let me take that off there. Just a bit of shaping, so it's a little out of round. Doesn't really matter to me, because we're going to be shaping this anyway. And carving it, so really not a whole lot of shape to it. Of course, You make your ghost the way you want. I'm just going to define where the part off is going to be to use a bit more speed. Let's just double check. Yeah, so we're just barely there, so I'll part off to that side. That'll be the part. And then the head. And the body. Plenty of thickness there, so we're doing okay there. The one I made yesterday, I had to put the disc sander on and sand the head a little bit. I'm trying to avoid that here today. Grain a little bit, that's fine. That's looking not too bad. Need a pointier tool. Little spindle gouge. It's actually a 1/2-inch spindle gouge. Just to kind of get me down there a little deeper. I may have to sand this top edge a little bit too, so we might be able to do some of it with the parting tool. Shape-wise, it's looking okay. Not very clean, so let's just clean up, so a little bit less sanding. See how thin we went there, so not too bad. It's about maybe 3/16 or so in there. And then and let's see if we can do a shaping cut with the parting tool. Just kind of skim along. Where we go all the way, let's do just a little bit of sanding. Don't need a whole lot. What do I got here? 100. That's going to be a little aggressive for this soft spruce or pine or whatever it is. Just a little bit slower. And turn on dust collection. Grabbed 100 grit discs just to get some of those tool marks out. But with all the texturing or the carving and stuff, you know, this would be a great project for one of those hidden bottle stoppers too, actually. So there's something for somebody to try. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, take a look at a past live stream on bottle stoppers on my webpage or on my YouTube channel. And you'll find a couple of examples. We didn't turn one, but one of our club members did years ago. That's good. Now let's part that guy off. A little too high. And I'm going to reach over top. I'll leave the lathe at this speed. Doesn't need to be super fast for this. Moving my tool rest or my parting tool around to kind of create that dome top. And I'm happy enough with how that turned out. Grab that sandpaper again. So it's going to get painted, so not terribly important to have a super fine finish, but want to get rid of all the bumps. And that looks a ton better than what I did yesterday, so bully for me. There we go. So let's call that done for that part. So turning's done. Let's see. We did that in 24 minutes, so not bad. And let me clean some tools up. We've got a few minutes to carve and a few minutes to paint. So this is a great time to do these projects. That's why I kind of did this one now. Not something that I think is difficult to do. It's easy. It's got a lot of creative freedom to figure out what you want to do with it. I'm going to use my Pro Mount carving stand here and use that as a carving platform. Get rid of the scrap out of there and get that back on camera. So I've got my, let's see, let's zoom that out a little bit, bring that down. This is what we've set up, carving stand here. We've got our little ghost. We can kind of put him in there, and let me just set the attitude of this guy where I want it to be, and I might be more comfortable this way. So, and then open up the chuck, and I'm just going to grip lightly on his head like that. I'll push this back, and I can go that back a little bit further. So now we've got that locked in. We can twist with the one handle. I'll roll over the carving machine. Oops, hang on, getting tangled. And got a little Pro Master Carver Micro Pro. I did use my my Fortum flex shaft tool on this the other day, but my shaft broke yesterday, the cordage. So I've got this little Micro Pro. I wonder if the overhead, you can see it. We'll just widen that out a little bit. I'm out of frame, so it's that little guy there, little speed dial on it, and little chuck, and I've got some grease on my finger. Lock that in, so that's locked in. Not going anywhere. All right, so just random, not really anything. Oh, that's a bad picture. Not anything sort of, planned out. Just making some folds and other sort of styles. And maybe I'll turn this a little bit. I'll leave it that way for now. And let's see if we can't get this guy set up to show. It's kind of the same angle. Doesn't really make sense. I'll just leave it on that angle. Let's see. A great ghost bottle stopper, yeah. That would be a good idea. I think so, Cindy. You got to make one. So, Shelly is saying, "Hi, everybody. Happy Friday. I love ghosts. I think this ghost should be named Bowmore." Yeah. You need the ghost bottle stopper for your Bowmore bottle. There you go. I do. That's a good scotch. David, good to have you here. We're making a little ghost today. Boo, this little guy. So everybody's not aware. So that's kind of what we're looking after. So onto the carving, and we'll get going. So as I was saying, I've lost my Fordham, so I got this little guy. It doesn't have quite as much torque, and that's why I've chosen a fairly soft wood. And then rotate. We'll do another sort of fold over here that maybe kind of makes an S curve. Fan that out a little bit. Thin that down. I'm going to come back to this one and thin down the bottom edge. And let me see if I can't tilt this up a little bit more to give you guys a bit better view. And then what I'm going to do in between, and let's see, does this show an overhead? Not quite. Actually, I'll lock that down. I'll bring that up, and we'll show overhead for a second. With these two pieces kind of carved out, I'm going to carve out the inside on the high spot. So we'll take out in between those spots, and we're going to make a feathered edge all the way around. And if we cut into the bottom, that's fine. It gives that sort of flowing sort of persona to it. Radius that around, and then continue on doing that kind of stuff. I have to lower this down a little bit just so I can see my next fold, and maybe just finish that one up off a little bit. Widen that out. Do my next one. Really no rhyme or reason, just however you feel it should go. Of course, if you're into carving, you might have a better idea than me, but this is just sort of off the cuff sort of thing, just kind of blending those folds. I might leave one of those edges higher and the other one kind of blended in a bit more. Go back to the inside and hold your tool so it doesn't run on you. And you start to get that sort of ripply fold feel of a ghost sheet or whatever it might be. Spin and rotate, do the next one. I'm gonna have to turn on the dust collector here. Bit of stuff just flowing in my eyes, a little bit too much. No right or wrong way to carve this. And let me get on the inside of this one. One more. And yeah, this is where really soft wood really helps, especially for a low torque device like this thing. And then on the inside, and then on the inside. And just feel around in there to see. I need a little bit of work on this guy in here to blend a little bit. A little bit of work on this one. That's got it. I think that's going to do for that tool, that bit. I'm having, there we go, a little trouble getting that guy out. Next bit is just a sanding bit. This is a pretty rough sanding job, and I think I've got stuff in this collet. Oh, it wasn't this tough yesterday. And turn that off. No, I'm not going to be able to get that in there. Why is that so difficult today? Well, that's just bananas. Is this one going to fit? Nope. I think my there we go. Got it in there. I've had some problems getting that bit in there, so I got to clean out this this collet. So we've got a little sanding to do. I'm going to tip this away from me into the dust collector hood. I'll pull that out for you. Turn that on. Turn this on. Speed goes down a little bit for sanding, and a little bit more. Oh, I need that spring on my handle there. So there we go. Some pretty rough and ready sanding. On this guy. A finer tool after that saber tooth tool would work to smooth these out, but before sanding, but this will work. And we can kind of shape some of the edges. We rotate, look at the next one. Smooths it out quite nicely. Oops. Okay, 20 minutes left. We'll have enough time. Smooth out some of those edges. It's nice. This Pro Mount is handy when you've got a tool in your hand. You can change, don't have to worry about the whole thing flopping around, but you can change the orientation this way with the one handle. So I keep my hand on my tool going, and I can still change the chuck mount around the Pro Mount. And do another change here. And finish this guy off. And I think we're round that over. I got a little bit left over here. Let's just take a quick look. We got some nice ragged edges on the bottom. We got a nice bulby top. Looks a bit like a octopus or a squid or something, but yeah, I think that looks kind of cool. Just looking at the sanding. I'm going to sand the insides a little bit here as well. I'll just hold that in my hand and do that here. Just blend that into the turning. Let's see. You can kind of see in there a little bit. We'll tighten in. Just give it a feel and see where it's at. And I think we're going to be good there. I'm just going to defer some of the edges. Just sanding a bit of the inside. Not truly necessary, but since I'm here, I might as well do it. A little bit of air cleanup here. Yeah. All right, so that ghost is done. Let me move this out of the way. Oops, wrong way. Take the chuck off. Pro mount is off. Goes back up on the wall along with the chuck. And our little dude. Clean up chuck key. And just setting up a little bit. And I wonder, is that one still set? That one's still set. So there we are, just setting up a little bit in the shop. We're going to spin this cart around. Get the air hose from my air gun into airbrush regulator. Spraying background. All right. There we go. So we've got a spraying background. Let me widen this out a little bit, kind of see what's going on. Airbrush, Grex airbrush from Mr. Joe Fleming over at Airbrushing Wood. We got some airbrush paints, white and black. We're going to paint this guy a gray, so I can spray this special effects paint on top. So the special effects paint is white, so that's why I went with gray, just so I had some contrast. So we got air. You can hear that. Let's start with a bunch of white in there, maybe a bit more because I know I'm going to use it, and a drop of black. 1 drop of black is about all I need in here. Let's give that a stir with something. I put away my paintbrush. I got a little. That might be a little dark. It's a little dark in there. I'm going to add a bunch more white. And stir that up. I just got a screw I found. It's my stir stick right now. So let's see if I've got other cameras trained on this or not. So that one works. There we go. And then maybe a wider shot with this one. There we go. So test the air, test the paint, spraying over here. It's coming out white. Can't really see that up there. It'll come out gray eventually, so we'll just start spraying. Oops, I'm shaking the paint out of the pot. Dries pretty quick, so I'm just going to move it with the fingers. Now we're getting a bit more gray now. And we're almost out. Goes quick this when you're covering. These little paint brushes don't hold a lot. You can get bigger pots for these air brushes too. I've got a bigger pot. I just didn't put it on. So let me try and get that stirred a bit better this time. Grab my... There is a lid for this pot too. I should probably put it on because I've got paint all over the place now. All right. Still coming out too white. There's the compressor. Now we're coming out gray again. And then we'll paint the inside black. So I'll just now fill with black. Now we got black coming out. There you can see in the bottom corner. It's a little tricky to get down in there because it's going to blow right past. So I just got to put in a little blasts down there. Just trying to catch that edge, make sure it's black. Looks pretty good. I've got some mist spots in the gray, so I have to empty this paint out. So we'll just waste it away, most of it, and then we'll fill up with white. Give it a stir. Stirring in the pot here. Just spilled a whole bunch. A little bit darker than the last gray, but that's all right. We can make it a little bit of an ombre effect. And add in some more white. This is kind of the wasteful way of doing it, but just wasting away here on the back paper just to see my colors. Mostly black. And now I got gray. Concentrating on the bottom half of the darker gray. And I'll drop a couple of drops of white till I get a lighter gray and go back over top. And that is the end of the paint. I think that looks pretty good, so we'll leave it there. I've got brush cleaner. Just squirted a bunch in there and spray that out. And then I'm going to cover the tip and let it bubble back. That back pressure just kind of cleans out. Joe will probably give me heck for doing that, but now the pot is empty. Stick my little finger in there and get out as much as I can. and clean off the air gun. I have to do a good cleaning on this guy. I just spilled a lot of paint all over him. All right, spray painting is done. 2 steps to go. We've got this stuff. This is Chromacraft WebX Special Effects to paint, and it comes out really weird and all this stringy mess. So that's what we're going to paint him with. What I would like to do is let this guy dry a little bit more, but we're going to carry on. We've got 5 minutes left. We're almost there. And I'll show you how this stuff comes out. I'll point this up here a bit more. Kind of comes out and it's like almost like, what do they call it? Silly string stuff. So what I try and do is set it about there and kind of go up. So my motion is up across it and around it. So I don't have any sort of really heavy spots with it. So it's a bit of waste, but I think the effect is much better than. There we go. Maybe one last shot across there. That looks pretty good to me. Maybe one last shot right across there. There. All right. Tony's here. Good to have you here. Thank you for joining. We're looking forward to being down there next week. So that should be fun. So last thing to do, Sharpie marker. And let me go back to this guy. And find a place that's appropriate for eyes. And I think I like this spot. And I'm going to post up a little bit with the fingers. You can't really see what I'm doing. Just going to draw these eyes on. Shelley wanted me to draw certain eyes this time, so we'll try that. Kind of cartoon eyes. This paint is a little wet to do this, but I'll go back over it when it dries and it'll be fine. That kind of worked out with that white in the background on that eye. So, and then they go for a mouth. And there we go. That is our little companion. So there's your little Gauss in an hour, 2 minutes to spare. That's so funny. I didn't think I'd get it in an hour, but well done. Well done. Thanks for sticking with me. I appreciate it. And hope you guys enjoyed that little quick demo. It's really easy to do. There's not a lot to it. Get yourself some, 2-inch round softwood, whatever you want to use, whatever you got in your shop. Make a little hollow form. Doesn't have to be too bad, too hollow, but it's nice and black inside, so you're not really too worried. You get that effect with the carving and the way it kind of skips around there. My fingers are taking off that paint, so I'm not going to handle it too much more. But yeah, nice little project. Absolutely. You're right there, Mike. So thank you. Let's see. Larry says, have you tried mixing in some green glow phosphorant acrylic? No, this is my second ghost I've made, Larry. So I have not. It's one of those projects you kind of think about and you go, oh, let's try that. So, and I was going to go and not even do the first one yesterday. I was just going to do this live, and Shelley insisted I go and practice. So I think she wanted 2 ghosts. That's why. So that a little bit of a setup, but I think for the paint, you don't need an airbrush. You can just paint it on. The Web effects, I think that adds to it. You could just do them all white, do them a single color, or do a whatever sort of color you want to do, but that really kind of adds a bit of, ghouliness to them, I think. So it's kind of a neat product that I had kicking around for a couple of years. I used it on another project, and it's been sitting in the shelf for a while. So that's been fun. So yeah, good question, Larry. I try one. And Ed, hey, thanks for joining. Good to have you here. Neat little project for sure. I do like it, Mike. Tony says that's cool. Going to have to go back and watch it all and try one. Yep, very easy to do. So I do have a couple of things to just kind of work through here. So we are now a robust tool dealer. So we have, it says coming soon, but they're on the website now. We've got their Turner Edge gouges and live centers and a couple of tool rests. Not a great selection. So take a look at that. Cindy's going to be live next week. We won't be here. We'll be down south. So have fun with that. And then she's also got a IRD coming up on the 29th. And Cindy, I wasn't sure if, I think it's still at noon, but I couldn't find out exactly. So I just did a quick mock-up here. But check that out. Go check Cindy's site for that show. So that should be fun. And that's all I had there. So let's go back to those guys. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Make your own ghosts. Where are they? Where's my fingers? There they are. I'm trying to find my own fingers. Anyway, my name is Todd Rains. I am from Woodturning Tool Store. So if you have any questions, any comments, put them on this video for sure. Like and subscribe, Facebook, YouTube, all that stuff. Send me an email if you got any questions. Check out the tool store for any tools you need. Check out the other stores that I mentioned here, airbrushingwood.com by Joe, cindydroza.com, and Chromacraft for some of their stuff as well. So y'all have a great afternoon. Have a lot of fun making ghosts. Have a lot of fun this month making all kinds of seasonal sort of things, and we will have a lot of fun. Let's see, Cindy, excellent, and such a great Halloween project. Yeah, very simple to do. Kind of like my Christmas trees. I do a lot of those as well. Shelly, yes, she wanted 2 ghosts. Yeah, absolutely. Larry says, thank you very much. The web paint is a great touch. I wonder if something similar could be found at Michael's. Perhaps. You could try. I haven't looked. So it's 1 p.m. Eastern. So yes, noon Texas. Oh, good. Thank you for confirming, Cindy. I didn't see it on the information I had at hand when I made that, and that was a quick make. Sorry. But anyway, you bet, Tony. Thanks very much. Thanks everybody else for joining. I appreciate you joining in today, and I'll be back in a couple of weeks, I think. Will I? Yes, I will. I think I'll be here. So watch out for these announcements from Facebook and YouTube. Check my website for the live stream page. And yeah, we'll see you all next time. Y'all have a great weekend. Todd from Woodturning Tool Store. Excuse me as I choke in my words. Todd from Woodturning Tool Store with you here every 2 weeks. So take care. Bye-bye for now.